All right, so I was reading this devotional the other day, and the title of the devotional was called The Cosmic Dance. And it was all about this idea that there is this rhythm that is around us in the world, that there is this rhythm or this heartbeat, this flow of life, and that God, as creator, is the one who sets that rhythm and that flow of life. Which is why I'm sitting around a drum set, right? Not because I know anything about how to play it. And I also have to tell you that when I first saw that title of that devotional, I just wasn't fully sure I was going to like it. And here's why. Talking about dancing and dancing itself kind of makes me want to break out in hives. I mean, it's pretty clear if you've ever been around me or have ever seen me try to dance that I am not a dancer. Now, I have some rhythm in life, but when it comes to kind of the dance and moving my arms and my legs and the rest of my body, I don't know what it is. I think I just feel really self-conscious. I'm very aware of the movements I'm making, and I just can't kind of relax and get in to the flow and the rhythm of what's going on. Again, if I'm sitting down, I can do that. I can do that rhythm, but as soon as I try to move my whole body, it just doesn't happen. Now, I got to thinking about this, and I thought, I think that's the way spirituality is for some of us. For some folks, spirituality is a head thing. It's something that we think about and we think about only, and trying to engage any other part of who we are beyond our intellect is difficult in terms of spirituality. For others, when they think of spirituality, they think it's all about their behavior. It's about the things they do or they don't do, what we avoid and what we participate in. And it's that thing that defines what it is to have a spiritual life. But as I read this and I began to think about what the author of this particular devotional was saying is, he was saying that we as God's children are invited to a full participation in life out in the world and the rhythm of the world that God has created within creation itself. And I thought about that and I realized there is something really amazing about what he was saying. Because oftentimes for me, my spirituality is played out in this place, in the church, or in my office where I'm studying to write a sermon, or other times it's played out in the way I'm trying to be a good Christian, so to speak. But when I'm out in creation or out in the world and I'm in a place of solitude and silence, and I can begin to breathe in the presence of God, there is a different kind of rhythm that happens within nature. In the moment where I kind of let go and allow God's Spirit to set the pace of what's going on in my life. I begin to notice my heartbeat, and I recognize that it is God who has kept my heart going. I recognize the wind that blows through the trees, and I see all the effects of that wind, and I think about how the Spirit is wind. And there's this sense in this cosmic dance where there is a place of rest and relaxation that is such a part of spirituality that sometimes we miss. Jesus said at one point, or he's recorded as saying in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 11, he says, "Come to me, all who are weary and carrying a heavy burden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." I think in some ways that actually talks about the rhythm that Jesus invites us to, this sense of rest, this sense of experiencing God's presence right there with us. I looked it up in the Message version, and this is what Eugene Peterson, how he sees and translates that verse. He says, to him, it says this: "Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I will show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me, Work with me. Watch how I do it. And then listen to this part. Learn the unforced rhythm of grace. You say that one more time. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. Man, I love that. This idea that there is a rhythm around us, a sense of God's presence around us. And when we really want to tap in to the rhythm of God's grace, perhaps it takes us to sit back and relax and find a way in which God can give meaning in our moments. The rhythm of life. Yeah, the cosmic dance that God invites us to. That is our invitation. That is what God wills for us as we find God's presence in all that we do.